Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Pauley, and I'm so glad you could join me. I'm sorry I've been absent from my channel for a while, but sometimes life kind of gets in the way. Hopefully, I'm back now. I'm making a whole bunch of different Christmas cards for you. This is just some of the tags that I've made, but if you stick around to the end, I'm going to show you some bonus shaker cards that I made that are not shown in this picture. Today, I'm going to be using some products from This Calls for Confetti. I'm using the Alice's Story Honeysuckle stamp set, the Happy Sentiment stamp set, the Forest Landscape die, and the Hello Elongated frame die, which is the main focus of what I'll be making today. So let's get started. I want to talk a little bit about this die set. These are the two dies I'll be using throughout the video. The main thing I want to show you is that I'll be using all the pieces that get die cut. Nothing is going to go to waste. So you're going to have the frame and then the inner circle to the frame. And then when you die cut this small oval, you'll get a frame and the inside of the oval, which is what I made all these tags from. Now, here is a close-up look at all the tags that I made from the little oval right here. Now, what's great about this die, I had a lot of the extra frames from making the tags, and that's when I decided I didn't want to waste any of the pieces, so I made some extra tags at the end of the video with them so nothing is going to go to waste. This frame right here is the only piece I'm not using today. I'm going to save that to make a shaker card with, and then all these little frames right here, I'm going to make some shaker and non-shaker tags with them. So here are some of my little ovals, and this is where I'm going to get all of my little trees I need for all of my tags I'm making. Then at the end of the video, I'm going to use some of these to make a shaker tag with. The first thing I do is I'm going to die cut one of the trees onto the tag. I'm going to set the trees aside for later, and then I'm going to take the tag with the die cut and lay it over another blank tag. Then I'm going to place the tree die into the negative space, and the tree fits nicely in it, and then I'm going to run it through my die cut machine again. When I take the two die cuts apart, you get another tree, and then the two negative spaces match up perfectly, so you don't have to try and make sure that they're lined up evenly for when we make our shaker tag. It makes it very simple and easy to do it this way. I went ahead and die cut 5 of them out for my shaker card, and then I have my trees to use to make some of the regular tags along with the solid tags and the frames. I'm also going to cut a tree from the pattern paper pack that I have. Now this paper is discontinued, but you can use any paper that you want to. I personally love how pattern paper looks on tags. I'll also be using this free printable that This Calls for Confetti has. I'm going to use the Merry Christmas on it and just trim away what I don't use. Now that I have all of my pieces die cut, I'm going to distress the edges of some of the tags. I'm going to do 2 tags with some Distress Oxide Black Soot, and I'm just going very lightly around all of the edges with it. I don't want it to be too drastic. For the next tag, I'm using Distress Oxide Victorian Velvet, and again, just putting a light coating down. And for my green tag, I'm using some Distress Oxide Rustic Wilderness. And remember that once the Distress Oxide dries, it will lighten up a little bit as well. I die cut a green tree and a black tree as well, and I'm putting some of my Distress embossing ink that comes in a little dabber bottle. I feel like the dabber works better for this particular project. I just basically pounce it all over the tree, and then I pour some Ranger tinsel embossing powder on it, and then I'm just using my finger to gently expose some of the green underneath it. Then when my heat tool is good and hot, I heat emboss the trees. I use my tweezers to hold the tree down because the heat tool does get kind of hot. I do the same process for the other 2 trees, and then I'm going to quickly assemble these first few tags. I use a small hole puncher to put a hole at the top of all the tags so that I can add string to the tag later, and I just do that for all the tags. I used some liquid glue and I adhere the green tree onto the green tag. I cut out the Merry Christmas sentiment and put foam tape on the back of it and adhere it to the tag. And look at how nice that came out and how quick I have two tags that I made so far that are just so quick and easy to make. For the next two tags, I stamped the Happy Holidays onto the bottom of the tags, and then I adhere the white Christmas tree to one of the black trimmed tags, and then I adhere the black tree to the other tag. And look at how nice that came out. I really like the black one for some reason. Okay, moving on. Now I'm going to make the bigger tags and use 3 frames. I'm poking my hole in the top of one of the frames so that all of the other holes line up. To do this, I place the first frame with the hole in it on top of the other frame I'm using, and I use a pen to make a little dot where the hole should go. And then I can easily know where to use my hole puncher so the holes line up. And I do this for all of the 3 frames. I adhered all 3 of the frames together and then I lay them on top of one of the bigger ovals so I can make a hole in the top of it for the string. And then I adhere the frames on top of the oval and line up the holes that I punched in them so it lines up evenly. And to finish off the tag, I adhere the tag with the Christmas tree on it and I put it in the middle of the tag. And look at how pretty that came out. Now you can leave it like this or you could put a black frame around it. I like both ways, but I decided I wanted a black frame around it. And you can save the small oval to die cut another black Christmas tree from. And then I just adhere it over the top of the white frames. I don't know, I think the black frame just stands out more and looks like has a much bolder look, which I really liked about it. Now let's put one of the shaker tags together. This one is super easy to make and I'm going to show you 2 looks because, well, I actually messed up on this tag, but it turns out that I actually like the tag both ways, so you decide which one you like better. I went ahead and stacked 4 of the layers on top of each other and that's where I made my mistake. Can you guess what mistake it is I made? Well, if you said I forgot to hole punch the top of the tag, you are correct. Now, since it's 4 layers thick, it's just too much for my hole punch and I would have just ruined it. So make sure to put your holes in before you adhere all the layers together. But no worries, I came up with another solution, so let's keep going. I'm using This Calls for Confetti's acetate. I'm going to use my scraps that I have because I don't like to waste the sheets. They have a protective paper on top of them that you peel off. It's nice to have that so the acetate doesn't get scratched. And then I just cut one of the pieces down to size. I use some score tape and adhere the acetate in place. I put my score tape on top of the acetate and peel off the release paper so it's ready to put the top of my shaker tag. I adhere the stacked die cuts on top of the solid oval tag. And then I'm going to add my shaker bits. I'm using the candy cane lane mix, and this mix is awesome. Look at what comes in this little pouch. You get the sentiment Merry Christmas, which I love, a bunch of greens, and I mean a bunch of them. And then it comes with a mix of candy canes, red and green confetti, some pink tubes and little white confetti. This mix is just awesome. I love it. You could just use it, for so many different things. I just pour a bunch of it into the little Christmas tree. Make sure to shake it around so that it gets all the way to the bottom. And then I'm going to adhere the top of the shaker onto the tag. And make sure to press down really good so that none of the confetti falls out of the tag. And then look at how nice this came out. This is actually where I realized I forgot to hole punch the top of the tag, and I was like, okay, how am I going to fix that? So this is the first tag. So this is what I came up with. I die cut another one of the bigger ovals, and I made sure to hole punch the top of the frame this time and make sure to hole punch the solid oval. I did it after, but I recommend doing it now. Then I adhered the frame on top of the solid oval, and I adhered the shaker tag in the middle of the frame, and then I put the other hole, and that's going to complete this tag. I think it came out super nice, just as nice as the first one that I made. Okay, and I have one last tag for you. I'm going to make a bigger shaker tag. I'm obsessed now with remembering to put my holes on the top of the tags, so that's the first thing that I do. I marked all of the frames so that I know where to hole punch them. I stacked all the frames on top of each other to make my shaker base. And then I hole punched the base of the shaker tag. And then I adhere the frames onto the top of the solid oval, making sure to line up the hole punches so the frame is straight. To save some time in the video, I went ahead and made a red Christmas tree the same way that I made the other ones, and I adhere it in the middle of the oval. I also die cut a red frame to put on top of the shaker tag. I put score tape on the back of the red frame and adhere a piece of acetate that I cut into a big oval. Next, I fill the shaker tag with some shaker bits. I'm using some of the candy cane lane mix and some from the Christmas post mix. I don't put a lot of the mix because I don't want it to cover up the Christmas tree that much. When I'm done, I adhere the red frame with the acetate over the top of it. And look at how nice this came out. These tags are just so much fun to make. And to finish off the tags, I put some string at the top of them so that you can tie them onto your gifts. If you didn't want to make Christmas tags, you can make Halloween tags, birthday tags, Valentine tags. The possibilities are absolutely endless with this set. So once again, here are all the different tags that I made using the Hello Elongated frame die. While this die is not intended to make gift tags, it is one of the best die sets I've seen to make tags with. You can make the quick and simple tags that I showed you down to a little more complicated tags like the shaker ones. It's definitely a set worth having in my opinion. I did add some clear dewdrops onto the smaller tags. You don't have to if you don't want to. I just thought they gave it that little extra something though. I think these tags came out awesome, and I definitely will be making a bunch for Christmas, and I hope you do too. I would love for you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of all the tags. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content coming out. As always, thank you for stopping by and spending your time with me, and have yourself a wonderful day.